Mariners spring training on Root Sports is presented by Magic Toyota, right on Highway 99 in Edmonds.
Just over a week now until the Mariners leave the desert and open the regular season at Safeco Field. Tonight, though, it's Cactus League action against the Milwaukee Brewers. Seattle will play this one under the lights in Peoria tonight. Also marks the return for some of the Mariners regulars to the lineup as they continue to heal from injuries. Names like that guy and Robinson Cano.
A three-run homer for Robinson Cano. Say goodbye. And this is gone. Robbie Cano smokes a two-run homer. Cano with a stab. Tackable play. Good job. And yes, sir. What a play.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mariners Baseball. Yes, you cannot wait to get Robinson Cano back. No doubt about that. I'm Angie Bentink, along with our baseball analyst, Ryan Roland-Smith, and we are getting closer to opening day. Just 1 week from tomorrow, Ryan.
Hey, I'm ready. You know, these shots of the desert are great, but come on, let's get these guys up. These games have got to start counting, right?
Exactly. They're rubbing it in a little bit, too. Get back up here to the cold and the rain and start playing baseball.
Hey, it's been nice lately.
It has been.
Can't complain.
Here is a look at the Mariners lineup tonight. It once again features D. Gordon leading off, but for the first time in over a week, it includes Robinson Cano and Ichiro, who we just saw. Cano will be the DH. Andrew Romine is also back at shortstop. Ryan Healy gets the start at first base. Now for more on the return to the lineup of the injured stars, we take you to Peoria and connect with Dave Sims and Mike Flowers.
Well, you know, Mike, some good news here from camp as guys are starting to get healthy. We're talking about Cano, Cruz, Ichiro, Romine. Boy, the list got pretty big there. Nice to see some of these guys back in the lineup tonight. It is, and it's going to be important. Look, tomorrow is a week from opening day, so you have to get these guys some at-bats. I think it's great. The good news is they're veteran guys, so they know what they're doing. They know what they have to do to be prepared, but you still have to get them in the lineup. So tonight it's nice to have Cano, as you mentioned, Romine trying to battle for that utility job. Ichiro's important, obviously. We've already heard he's going to play a lot at the beginning of the season, and then Nelson Cruz tomorrow. So that's all good signs. Get these guys healthy at the start of the season. They're all taking BP right behind us right now. As we get down to the last 7 days of spring training, man, it went fast. What do you look for? Well, I think, again, it has to be the health. It's been that kind of spring for these guys, but now their guys are back in the lineup, so just ease them through this next week, get them ready to go. Then, of course, Felix. Felix had his first outing the other day through 38 pitches, looked really good, went 3 innings. They're trying to ramp him up to get him ready for opening day, so he's going to have another outing on Saturday. Fingers crossed that goes well because he's so important to this team. Absolutely. That's a story. Improving health. That's great news down here in Peoria.
That is fantastic news. Guys, thanks. Time for our Lexus pitching matchup featuring Mike Leake for the Mariners. He will be making his 6th start of the spring. So far, he's given up 4 home runs in just over 17 innings of work. I don't like to see that. Milwaukee is going to send lefty Brent Suter to the mound. You know, it's always difficult to predict, Ryan, what the numbers mean for a veteran pitcher in the spring. But how would you rate Mike Leake's performance after 5 turns?
Well, first of all, fresh haircut. I love that. Cut that long, moppy hair off. It looks good.
Oh, gosh.
But
I loved it.
Mike Leake, look, this isn't his first rodeo. This guy's done this a lot. He's had a lot of spring trainings, throwing a ton of strikes all around the strike zone, which is rare at spring training. Usually guys take a couple turns to get settled in. But that affected him last time out against the Texas Rangers. They roughed him up a little bit. Look for him these last couple outings, the last 2 outings of spring as a starting pitcher. You really want to start expanding the zone and see what you got in the tank for those secondary pitches. So you probably see a lot of 2-strike sliders from Mike, but just get him ready to go. He's a huge part of this rotation.
And hasn't walked a batter yet?
He hasn't walked a batter yet. Which,
that is
again,
insane.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
absolutely.
Right. Hey, so far this spring, Gene, the hitting machine with 14 hits in 13 games. A pretty good ratio for the Mariners shortstop, though he will sit out tonight, resting a sore thumb. Up next, we head to Peoria as we approach first pitch between the Mariners and the Brewers here on Root Sports. Brought to you by Bill Corum's Puyallup Nissan. Car buying as easy as Sunday morning. And by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. We take a look at how the Brewers are going to play it tonight. Jonathan Villar will lead off. Nick Franklin, a name familiar to Mariner fans, will play third base. They also plan to let pitcher Brent Suter get in some hacks, get ready for the regular season. You often see this with National League teams, even when they're playing in an American League park at the end of spring training. Angie here with Ryan, and by this time next week, the Mariners will be holding a workout at Safeco Field, folks, getting set for opening night on Thursday, March 29th. So as we get into this stretch run here of spring training, what is it, Ryan, that the players are trying to accomplish in this last week?
Well, this camp especially, with the way things have been going on with the injuries and everything, just let's get everyone healthy on the 29th of March facing the Cleveland Indians. But this last week, as a starting pitcher for me, I usually have 2 more turns of the rotation. This is where I really want to start ramping it up and getting in game speed. You start to see bullpen guys go back-to-back nights. You see hitters start to get that 3rd and 4th at-bat, start to stretch the legs a little bit and just make sure everyone's healthy and roll into opening day with a full squad. Yeah,
although it might be a little different this year, only because you have these guys like Nelson Cruz couldn't be in the lineup tonight because they need to play. They need to DH, meaning either Cano was going to play or Nelson Cruz was going to play because they need to DH. They both can't play in the field right now. It's kind of interesting because instead of ramping it up, it's basically, go and solve. All right, so one guy expected to pitch in relief tonight is lefty James Pazos. He had some real bright spots during the season last year. If he's going to take the next step forward, though, what does he have to do, Ryan?
Well, let's not forget, 12 months ago, this guy burst onto the scene. He was wasn't even locked up for a spot in that bullpen. All of a sudden, he makes the team. And the question mark for him was his command. Can he command the baseball? We all know about the stuff. He's got that electric fastball and that really good slider. But for me, watching James Pazos, I think for him, taking the next step is that 7th and 8th inning. He has the ability to be that guy. He only had the 1 hiccup last year. But, man, this guy down the stretch last year had some tough, big, high-leverage situations, and he ran with it. And I feel like he's going to be an integral part in this bullpen.
Yep, we'll see again how long the starter Mike Leake goes tonight. Let's get you down to the guys that will call it. Dave Sims and Mike Blowers. 6 games to go, 4 broadcasts on Root Sports, starting with this one tonight, guys.
We're excited about that as we make our move towards opening night. Thank you, Angie and Ryan. Good evening, everybody. Look at that beautiful sky here in Peoria, Arizona, and a guy, the people's choice, Ichiro, starting the night in left field, coming off missing a few games with a calf injury. It was fun watching him Monday shuttle back and forth between fields 3 and 4 in the San Diego side, getting maximum number of at-bats. So he is ready to go, looking for his first hit of the spring. Here's Mike Leake. And this is a veteran warrior right here. He wants to get deep into games. Don't come get me after 5 innings. I got to go deep. He's a guy that's done big innings in the course of his career. He's got 1,446 innings on his ledger. First pitch in there for a strike to Jonathan Villar, and we're underway. 77 degrees and clear. Michael, good to be back with you here. And after a day off, everybody was off yesterday. And Leake, a quick worker as usual. I think this is going to be a fun outing here for Mr. Leake.
Yeah, I think he's going to go 6 innings today, right around 80 pitches, I think. You look at his overall numbers for the spring. His ERA is right around 5, but the main thing is the innings, 17 innings for him. Well, he has 10 strikeouts, hasn't walked anybody, so his command has been there for him. But this is a pretty good tune-up for him to get ready for the regular season. He's a guy that's been around, as you mentioned, Dave, and he knows what he needs to do to get ready for the season. Probably like most people down here now, you get to that last week or so when you're ready to get out of here and get things started for real.
Got knocked around this last time out over in Surprise against Texas. 4 innings of 9 hit. 6 runs, all earned, 3 strikeouts. As he delivers ball 2. Talking to Mel Stoudemire today, was relating how they wanted to take him out after the 3rd inning. He said, listen, I told you before the game, my body's not feeling good, so it could be ugly out here. 4th inning goes out, and he went 1, 2, 3 and retired the side. But his deal is, as he told us after his first start, he wants to get deep in games. He's got old school mentality, wants to go 6, 7 innings every time out. 3-2 pitch. He walks Villar. And the Brewers have a base runner. Brewers come in 16-17-2. The Mariners 11-14-1. There's a brain trust for the Mariners. Got Scott Brocious, Pete Harnish over there, the skipper Scott Service. There's Orlando Arcia. .310 batting average this spring, shortstop. Young man had hit .277 last year. Home plate umpire tonight is Scott Barry. Mark Rippiger has first base. Gabe Morales at second. Stu Sherwater at third. They'll probably rotate a few times during the course of the game, as they usually do in spring training. 1-0 pitch. Getting closer. Gotta love it. Don't forget, get your tickets for opening night for next Thursday with the Cleveland Indians in town. Friday a day off, and then finish up the series Saturday and Sunday. Mariners on the infield from third to first. Seager, Romine, Beckham, and Healy, with Ichiro, Gordon, and Haniger in the outfield. Zunino behind the plate. Sixth start for Mr. Leak, down low. 2-1. Mike added to the acquired by the Mariners for the September run. He went 3-1 with a 2.53 ERA in 5 games. 27 Ks, only walked 2.
Well, as you mentioned, he pitched well last year, but the biggest part of the deal was to have him for this year.
Ground ball, Romine. Beckham for 1, over to Healy, double play.
And that's something you'll see a lot of with him on the mound. A lot of times he will pitch to contact, and a couple of guys trying to make this ball club. You can see Romine at shortstop today, and then Beckham. He's done that a lot. Formerly with the Chicago White Sox as a starter at second base. Good to have Andrew Romine back.
Shoulder injury last week in Colorado. Was at third base. The runner was going to third, and he tried to get the out, which he did, but slight separation in the shoulder. And a lot of guys have those shoulders pop in and out, as we look at Hernan Perez, the left fielder. Just a few games. Great to have him back. All 3 guys vying for the utility spot have played well. Motter, Beckham, and Romine. Right field. Haniger to his left makes the play, and the double play. Good friend to Mike Leake. When we come back, D. Gordon, who was 10th in hitting in the National League last year, he's going to lead things off for the Mariners. At Peoria. Good crowd on hand here for a Wednesday night. As Robbie Cano excited to be back in the lineup. Calf issues, and had him on the shelf. He's been working like crazy recovering. But he's in the water treatment in the pool the last couple days. Brett Suter, first pitch. D. Gordon, a bunt. Attempt goes foul. Strike 1.
D having a good spring, hitting .326 overall. He's really played well in center field.
So Ichiro and Cano, they were teammates with the Yankees back in 2012.
It's good to have them both back in the lineup.
Here. Breaking ball, foul tip. Glove Bethencourt. Christian Bethencourt doing the catching. Suter, quick worker, 0-2. And quick dispatch of V. Gordon, one away.
Batting center for Seattle, shortstop, number 7, Andrew Romine.
Gordon not pleased. The ball got on him kind of quickly. He was like, what was that?
Looking at the scoreboard for the velocity.
Yeah, right. There's Andrew Romine, real quick. I thought Leake was quick. This kid's very quick work. Check down at first, didn't go. This is Andrew Romine hitting a 281 on the spring. Homer, 6 runs batted in. He's got a double as well. Heading the count 2-0. Look out.
Well, we've talked about it a lot. There's not much competition in camp. But there is for that utility role. Dave mentioned the guys that are vying for the job. Romine and Beckham both in the game tonight. Taylor Motter also has played well this spring. And that is a good fastball. There's some late life to it.
We'll look for guys maybe step out on this guy a little bit. He is working at his pace. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
And some late swings on his fastball again.
Must be hiding it really well.
We'll take a look at it. Right over the top. That's a late swing.
Suter, a 31st round pick back in 2012 out of Harvard. Here's Robbie Cano. 2 for 8 minor league game yesterday. I said, how'd it go? He said, I got 5 hits. I said, officially, they tell me it was 2. They said, well, I could run a little bit, a couple of them, you know, come on. But he was very pleased with his output. On the spring, he's hitting 350 with a home run, 3 runs batted in.
And Robbie, the DH tonight, not worried about his ability to play second base. And I think when you look at some of the players, and Cruz obviously another one, you'd like for these guys to at least start the season healthy, because they're going to be in the lineup just about every single day. So that's the most important thing. It's nice to have the day off yesterday that Dave was talking about.
Shortstop in the third baseman exchange. Little shift here. 1-1 to Robbie Cano. Suter out of Moeller High School in Cincinnati. Ken Griffey Jr.'s alma mater. That is a foul ball. Last I heard, Junior was in the zip code. Haven't seen him yet or heard him, but there has been reports of sightings.
I heard him today, and I could hear him all the way down the hallway. And by the time I got around the corner, it was a brief sighting, and he was gone. But he's here in camp, and sounded like he was having some fun.
Goes hand in hand with him. 1-2 pitch down low, 2-2. Nelson Cruz will be back in action, be in the starting lineup tomorrow night. He's looking forward to that. Darn sure looking forward to seeing him too. So Suter, 6'5", $195. Last year, 22 games, 14 starts. He went 3-2 with a 3.42 ERA. And he strikes out the side. What a start to this ball game. To the second inning we go here in Peoria. Glad you're with us here on Root Sports. No, watch it disappear in 4 to 5 hours. I'd like to send this up to our friends in the northeast part of the country going through yet another cyclone bomb nor'easter. A lot of snow up that way. This is northern Arizona. Say goodbye to the snow. Here we go, second inning. Jesus Aguilar, first baseman, leads off for the Brewers. Brewers last year 86-76, second to the Cubs. The NL Central, they finished 6 games behind. They've added some personnel. Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich. Go with some guys who can bang the ball around. They're not here tonight. Eric Thames, who used to be with the Mariners, 31 home runs. Travis Shaw, 31 homers. Ryan Braun hit 17. Domingo Santana hit 30. Mike Leake getting his work in. Another thing that Mel was talking about, Leake brought over a terrific mindset after being St. Louis and Cincinnati, Arizona organizations. They try to, now when guys, the starters are having their bullpen sessions, they like to have all the guys, at least 1 or 2, watch and learn. He said he got that from Dave Duncan, who was the pitching consultant in Arizona, as Haniger puts this away. And it's really, Mel said, it's really, in terms of camaraderie of the unit, the starting rotation, it's been very beneficial.
Well, especially when you have some of the younger starters watching a guy that knows what he's doing. Take a look at Mel and Scott's service. He's doing a pretty good job here early on, mixing it up, using his curveball, his slider to go along with the fastball. Looks like he wants to pitch inside with the fastball a little bit more.
Here's Brett Phillips. Those of you of a certain age will love his middle name, Brett Maverick Phillips. Maverick, the great TV show, late 50s out of Warner Brothers, and it was James Garner played that lead role for so many years. But I'm going through the notes. I was like, Brett Maverick Phillips. Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Kevin Kremen back in Seattle saying right now, don't forget that James Garner was an Okie from Oklahoma. So I got it in, Colonel. Phillips at 119, homer, and 4 runs batted in. Strike 3 call, first strikeout for Leake, 2 down.
Well, it's a good fastball again with the off-speed pitches he's throwing. He kind of freezes him. You can see Mike, the high target, belt high. A little bit of run to that fastball. Looks like a good 2-seamer. Goes back and catches the inside corner. Freezes him. Good pitch.
Quick 2 outs. Here's Nick Franklin, one-time Mariner. Second tour of duty with Milwaukee. Began last year. Played 53 games for the Brewers. Then we saw him in Anaheim. Played 13 games there. First round pick in 09. The Mariners, 27th pick overall. And after the Mariners, he did 3 seasons in Tampa Bay. Well positioned is Romine. Throws him out in a very neat, tidy 1-2-3 second inning by Mike Leake. here in Peoria. Glad you're with us here on Root Sports. Joining us right now, the Mariners' new assistant pitching coach, Jim Brower, joins us. JB, good to have you with us. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Give us your thoughts on what you've seen to this point joining this organization with this pitching staff.
Well, they're looking to find any advantage they can. I mean, everybody here is, pulling the same side of what can we do to make these guys better. It's been a good conversation with Mel, Brian. It's kind of a group effort. So right now it's been great.
For the fans that are going to see a lot more of you, can you just explain what your role is to this team and the things that maybe Scott's looking for from you?
Sure. I mean, as an assistant coach, I'm supporting the pitching, obviously, but it's more game planning, trying to get it as personal as possible, make it more individual for the player, for the pitcher, a little more of a player lens with the information that's given from the front office, coming down through me, and then I'll give it to the players. And hopefully, with the way I can connect with them, it will be a way to get another layer of buy-in, I guess.
Right.
You had a nice career, 33 and 32 with Cleveland, Cincy, San Francisco, Atlanta, Baltimore, San Diego, and the Yankees.
It's
so
mouthful.
You got a good travel log, man.
I hear you.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Hey, man, what's the biggest thing that you've taken from your playing days, what you've seen over the years, that you bring now as a coach?
Being a journeyman is kind of overrated as a player. I wish I was a little bit better to stay in one spot, but as a coach, I mean, it's really cool to be able to get those kind of experiences, and all the different pitching coaches and the players you're around, different countries. It's just really a way to connect with these guys, and they can see that you've kind of been there, done that, and this is just an extension of that, of all the experiences I can kind of share with these guys.
What is one of the things that impressed you the most about this camp this year?
I mean, the way the players are all willing to do whatever it takes. I'll sit on the backfield and work on, pickoff moves, or sitting in having chalk talks on different topics. I mean, these guys are all in, and they're taking as much information as possible, and they're willing to work on it.
I would imagine that listening to you talk about everything and explain your job, it's really important for you to really get to know each individual guy, because they all go about their business a little bit different when you talk about veteran guys to the younger pitchers.
It is, and so what I'm trying to bring is that there is numbers that are, well, this TrackMan data, analytics is kind of a term we use more like information. It's just another tool. So I'm trying to take this tool and make it as individual to players as possible. So up to this point, all these numbers have been more about evaluation, and I think players are a little standoffish because of that. But with what I've done with the Royals as a coach and a pitching coordinator with the Cubs, I'm taking that information and making it personal. And that is about developing, not just about evaluating. So, and I think they're going to dig in on it. Just take some time.
It sounds like you're so comfortable with it that maybe back in the day when you were playing, you would have liked to have had that kind of information.
And I'm glad you hit on that, because that's exactly why I started 5 years ago looking at numbers as, is there something in there that can help these guys get to the next level? Maybe it's a guy that, man, I could have used just something in my career to help me get me over that top. And I didn't get it as a player, but hopefully as a coach, I can give it to some of these guys.
You're finding that this generation's pretty accepting?
They are. But you got to be able to back it up. I mean, you could throw out the numbers, but they want to have, the trusting the coach. When I came up, the coach said to do something, just do it. Now, yeah, you can tell them to do something and ask why, which is great, but you have to have a good why. And says these numbers sometimes help support that why. And again, they're like, oh, okay, and then they can keep following, so I don't just drop the ball on them and say, do this, and it works. I mean, we'll follow up and say, hey, yes or no. Let's have some real conversation with it, and I think they're really digging in on it.
It sounds like this is something that could really evolve over the course of the season and time. I mean, it's been a really relatively short period of time here in camp, just the 4 weeks so far.
It does take time. I mean, it is relationship still. I mean, numbers are very cold, but it is still a personal game, and that's how I'm treating it. These guys are going to come to me and ask, hey, what do you see in the games? I'm not really going to them yet, because that's, you don't want to force feed this on anybody, because then the wall will go up. You start talking spin rate, I'm telling you, they just go, what does that even mean? I don't want to hear about it. So you take a step back, and it'll happen. It just takes some time, and we've had some really cool gains just here in spring, and it's just going to get better.
You don't want those eyes glazing over, not at all.
No, you can see it too. That
I'll bet.
Once that happens, we'll get you tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me about your relationship blending in with Mel. And how far do you guys go back a few years at all?
I don't. I mean, I know of Mel, of course, him and the family. I mean, they're a staple in this game. But no, what he does is the way he connects with the players. I mean, it's not a, you know, it might be numbers is kind of more my niche, but the way he connects with these guys and, you know, the way he looks at video and the way that he's able to tell me, like, this guy can handle more, this guy can handle a little bit less. And that's how we can get kind of quicker buy-in, because I'm a little more on the let's just throw it out there and let's see what that sticks. That's not always the best way to go about it. And so Mel and I are working on finding better individual plans for these guys.
That's an interesting thing, because it seems to me, listening to you talk about that in the relationship with you and Mel, that maybe you have some information and you kind of, maybe with some of the guys, and it sounds like you want to be pretty direct with it, but there's some other guys that maybe you can get that information in a different way through Mel to them to have them buy in.
And that's what it is, whether it's myself, Brian in the bullpen, Mel with the starters especially. I mean, once they build these relationships, I'm here to help, you know, try to give some extra information, another layer for them. If they see something like, hey, Jim, you know, I'm trying to get this guy to have a little bit better of a breaking ball. Is there any numbers that can kind of support that? Same thing in the bullpen. And so what I do is I'll kind of dig in and look, and I'll give him the information, and he'll try to find the right time to make that work.
Here's Zunino killing one up on the berm. 2-0 Mariners. My goodness.
Very nice.
He hit one Monday in the minor league game against San Diego. That was a bomb, and this was an absolute screaming 5-iron. Wow. 2-0 Seattle. Hey, Jimmy, thanks a lot, man. Good to have you aboard here.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care. Wow. That is how you crush a fastball. My goodness.
It's rare that he hits a cheap one, and as Dave mentioned, a screaming line drive out into left center field. He knew it. That's his 3rd home run of the spring, and having a good spring. Started off a little bit slow, but he's really picked things up, hitting over 300. And again, his 3rd home run.
There's Gordon Beckham having an outstanding spring, hitting 366, a homer and an RBI. Mike, the other day, so I was here Monday and watched Felix and Paxton went back and forth. Zunino hit a ball that, and there was a crowd of maybe 40, 50 people. And it felt like back in the old American Legion days, you're right behind the backstop.
That's what it is,
and
too.
He hit one over the scoreboard right. It would be the equivalent of hitting it up in the light tower. Oh, my goodness.
When we talked to him, I think it was about a week ago or so, and he had a particularly good game. I think he hit it over the pavilion out and left. And I asked him, I said, do you think with him and Nelson, if anybody could hit one out of Safeco? And he thinks it's going to happen one day.
Well, don't forget, last year he hit one 4 rows from the top, upper tank last year. 2-0 Mariners on the home run by Mike Zunino, and he's got the home run ball. Lucky fan. All right, maybe Mike will autograph it for you down the road. 2-0 Seattle.
Spring is coming.
Pleased to have good buddy John McLaren with us, longtime manager employee, as a manager and coach, as we look at Mike Zunino, just hit his 3rd home run. Johnny Mac, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, Dave. Good to see you, Mike.
You too, man.
Been a while.
It has been a while. What's your handicap like these days?
Oh, it's getting better. It had a ways to go, but I've been working at it. And, you know, you live in Arizona, you don't play golf, there's something wrong. So I enjoy going out with the boys and whacking it.
I think the last time that we spoke, you were kind of traveling all over the place. Still doing that? What are you up to these days?
I am. I've been doing this China baseball since 2011, and they called, and they've had vision. They just had any money, and now they've got some backers, and they're going to put an independent league team in Grand Prairie, Texas, and they want me to run everything. And I've been to China twice in the last month, and you know, I enjoy traveling the world, spreading the word about baseball. Always have been to Italy, Germany, Holland, Nicaragua, Venezuela.
I know you've been everywhere.
Yeah, and I enjoy that part of the game, and to promote our game. And you know, I went to Ireland last year and did a clinic, and the year before I went to Belarus, and I didn't know where Belarus was. And you know, for some people that want to play our game, and they're so isolated, it's kind of a neat thing. And like I said, I just like to spread the word. And you know, I'm at the stage of my life and career that it's kind of like me giving back a little bit. And
good for you.
It's kind of it's really what, you know, how I want to end up things is, you know, to do this. So
John, let me ask you this: what's it like in terms of language with the Chinese, and also give me an idea of their fervor for the game? What's it like?
They are just like Korea and Japan, and those things are intelligent. They're dedicated. They're so respectful. And the difference is their lack of playing games, lack of exposure to the game, and they're not very strong. So they don't throw very hard. There's a lot of things they don't believe in. They don't believe in recovery time, so you never build the arm up. You're always breaking it down. So we're in the process of trying to put a system in place to move this really dramatically forward, you know, starting now. And so they're going to send 30 players to Grand Prairie, Texas. And I got a great coaching staff. I got Garth Orge, played in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Got Garth Orge. I got Larry Hardy, who was pitching coach, bullpen coach for the Rangers. And I got Jimmy Johnson, who was hitting coordinator in the minor leagues for Rockies for several years, managed AAA. And we're excited about it. Like I said, we're probably going to be overmatched, and we know that. But they had to make a statement. And
that's a nice play right there. Don't get Suter, who runs well.
Looks like Dan Wilson back there moving around. I just saw Dan the man, and we had a really nice. You know, this was really nice, the Mariners, to have this alumni night and seeing Latch and Alvin Davis and
big group.
Great group.
Yeah.
I mean,
now you guys, for the most part, you guys are all local, right? For the most part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And even though you do live here, sometimes you just don't cross paths. Right. You know, I mean, Kenny Phelps, the only time I see him is at a baseball function, and he lives out here, and he's a wonderful man. And no, it was great seeing everybody, and you know, Kevin Mather and Randy, it was first class all the way, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to see some of the guys on the field before the game, and they had all your names up on the scoreboard. It's a good thing.
Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you about the Chinese: do they feel left out in the Asian theater, given that Japan and Taiwan and Korea all play baseball, and they're the biggest country in the world, and they don't play it?
Yeah, you know, Dave, they have great athletes over there, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to. In August, we're going to Indonesia for the Asian Games, and I'll get to experience that, you know, the basketball, the track and field. And so we've actually started recruiting different sports to come over and play baseball. And like I said, they've got terrific bodies over there. Basketball, when I went to Beijing, I saw the Beijing Ducks play twice, and it's a good brand of basketball. I mean, it was impressive. And so the one thing that Major League Baseball has done is they're starting to show games over there, and that's the big, one of the big obstacles they've had is there's no exposure. I mean, if you go to Japan, which I've been several times, and you go to Korea, and you go to Taiwan, and there's always games on TV. Ichiro and all these guys, and they're always on TV, but there's never any games in China. So a young kid doesn't have that first impression and, get the bug to play baseball because they never see it. So now they can start seeing it.
And the flip side of that, basketball's on all the time over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I watched it a lot because I couldn't sleep, so I'm surfing through all these channels. I said, give me some Chinese basketball. That's good. So,
what do you think of Ichiro coming back?
I think it's cool.
That's a fair ball. Oh no, he waved it off foul. That from here, it looked like that was a fair ball, and it was. Okay.
I've seen Ichiro the last 2 years. I was coaching in Philadelphia, and I would talk to him, and I asked him one day, I said, do you think you want to manage? He goes, no. I said, why not? He says, too much media. So,
oh, boy.
And I always told him, I said, you know what? Me talking personally, I said, I can see you maybe saying goodbye in Japan or in Seattle. So here we are.
Well, you nailed it.
So the thing about him, he wants to play the rest of his life. I mean, this is what he's all about, is just, if you didn't see the gray hair, the salt and pepper in his hair, his body looks the same. And of course, we know he can't play every day. He doesn't expect to play every day. But I think, as an extra guy, personally, I think having a veteran guy is a good call. A guy who can pinch hit, and when you ask a young kid to pinch hit, it's asking a lot, because they're trying to get their feet on the ground in the major leagues, and you're pinching it when the game on the line, and when you get somebody like Ichiro who's been there and done it so many times,
over his head,
he's used to all that kind of stuff. So I think he'd be a good fit for the Mariners, and I still follow the Mariners, except when whatever team I'm on playing them, I pull for them. It's such a great place, got so much history up there, and it's been a long time. And when I looked through the alumni in there, and I saw Woody Woodworth and Lee Pellicudis, and it took me back the days in the Kingdom.
Yeah.
And, I can tell you what, you could almost count the fans when we first got there in '93. I mean, you'd be sitting there and you go 1, 2, 3. I mean, they're just,
I was there with you.
But yeah, but now, I'm gonna tell Mike Blauer's story here, Dave. It's okay. Mike comes to spring training, and he's got a first baseman's glove, he's got a third baseman's glove, he's got an outfielder's glove, got an extra catching gear. He had everything. He was ready to go. And I think we hit 30 home runs, right, Mike? So next spring, I said, Mike, do you have your catching gear? He said, no, we don't do that anymore.
It served its purpose, Matt.
Yeah. But, those, I'm nostalgic. I look back on those days, and just wonderful memories, and, the fans and how we got the stadium, and nice stroke. Wow.
That was Garcia. Tie the game up 2-2.
Oh, good throw. Oh, wow.
Heck of a throw to get it. John, pleasure as always.
Good seeing you, Dave. Thanks. Good luck to you guys. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you bet,
Great
buddy.
seeing you guys.
We got a 2-2 ball game here in Peoria.
Jet Chevrolet is
Arizona desert down here as we welcome you back to Mariner Baseball. Hey, Mariner fans, come together to welcome back baseball on Thursday, March 29th. Opening night at Safeco Field, and all fans in attendance will get a 2018 magnetic schedule courtesy of Safeco Insurance as the Mariners host the Indians. 7:10 first pitch. For tickets, visit mariners.com. Ichiro looking for his first hit of the spring. Monday in minor league games, had slapped a couple of hits to left field. One on field, the one that I saw on field 3, another one I saw on field 4.
You mentioned it earlier with Robbie doing the same thing. I believe it was yesterday and the day before. 8 at bats and a couple of hits for him. He might do a little more of that this last week of spring training just to try to slow the game down a little bit.
Ichiro fooled badly there. Tell you what, you mentioned it earlier. First inning, Brent Suter is some kind of sneaky fast. It's his 4th strikeout. Struck out the side to open up the ballgame.
And watching him run the bases, looks like a pretty good athlete all the way around.
Well, if he played at Moeller, where Junior came from, and they produced many a D1 athlete, not surprised. Kid out of Moeller in Cincinnati to Harvard University. Up the middle, base hit. D. Gordon's aboard. He took a quick gander after that first strikeout, looking up the board like, what was the MPH on that?
Well, he wasn't going to wait around. Gets a breaking ball, stays on it. Infielders, as you probably know or could guess, have to shorten up. It takes away some of their range, and he'll pick up a base hit back up the middle.
Here's Romine. Suter's already picked off one Mariner. He got Ryan Healy after Healy led off the second with a base hit to left. Romine batting in the 2 spot. Robbie Cano's on deck. Fun talking to Romine about 10 days ago when we telecast after he got out of the game late in the season, last September 30th, for the Tigers. Played all 9 positions. Got a hold.
It's been great this spring, I think. One, being able to bring all these guys to you and to talk to them in the dugout. Some of them actually going to talk some of them before they actually go into the game, which is kind of neat. But as a collective group, they've been exceptional this year in the way that they've handled everything and the way they've answered. And he was a lot of fun having him on.
9 for 32 entering tonight's game. 0-2 here. Got a couple of stolen bases, 2 for 2. Started tonight a .281 hitter. His dad Kevin, a major leaguer with the Red Sox. His brother Austin with the Yankees. He's a catcher. Andrew out of Winter Haven, Florida, originally drafted by the Yankees, and that's the second swing, the same kind of swing Ichiro had. Really getting fooled in that high heater. 5 strikeouts, 2 down here in the 3rd.
We talked about at the start of the game. He has a good fastball, late life to it.
Suter 6'5". What a way he tucks, trying to pick that ball up. It's got a clearly not easy. Seen it real well out of his hand.
The way his fastball is jumping through the strike zone, all the late swings we've seen. Somebody's going to go look and check out some spin rate. And a lot of carry to it, a lot of life.
Mark that down, everybody. At 7:23, Mike Blowers went there, talking spin rate. Atta baby.
Opening day, getting close.
Yeah, 0-2. It's fun talking to Jim Brower about that stuff. Cano coming off a hamstring issue. Hit 280 last year, 23 homers, 97 runs batted in. 2-2 with 2 out. Two-two pitch. Slapped the other way, went with the pitch very nicely. Kept him in a board with 2 outs.
And you will see this a lot this year, trying to pitch him away, probably just off the outside corner, but it's elevated, and that's something that Robbie does as well as anybody. He will use the entire field. Again, the DH tonight trying to take care of that leg. It didn't take him long to hit a line drive.
Nope. Here's Ryan Healy. Base hit left center field last time up. Three homers, 6 doubles as an Athletic last year against the Mariners. Hit 25 home runs. Chance to be a really, really good addition to this lineup in terms of lengthening the lineup up. Next tomorrow night we'll have Nelson Cruz back in there. Get us even closer to what the opening night lineup will look like. And high heater, 0-2. D. Gordon, he's at second base. Cano at first. Really trying to get out of an 0-2 hole. 2 outs in a 2-2 ball game. Zunino, 2-run homer. A laser shot left center field, second inning, and then RBIs by VR and Arcia in the third for Milwaukee to tie it. Goes the other way, fought it off. There's that high pitch.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to elevate the fastball a little bit more. He's got a pretty good slider that he can bury too. Bury it in the dirt. We'll see what he decides to do.
Second baseman just to the third base side. Big hole on the right side for Healy. Time called. Here's how Milwaukee's lined up. Oh, 2 pitch. Yep. Way upstairs.
They will keep climbing the ladder on you. So you can lay off of a pitch, and Ryan was able to do that.
Suter's got a total of 16 regular season starts under his belt. 1-2 pitch. Did he go? He did. First base umpire gave Morales. Healy and the Mariners are gone to strand 2. We go to the 4th inning in a 2-2 game. Lots of them out there on a very comfortable night here in Peoria. Welcome you back to Mariner Baseball. 2-2 ball game, top of the fourth. Tuffy Ghostwitch joins us right now. Mariner catcher. Tuffy, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you. How's camp been going for you so far?
I can't complain, you know. I'm just getting in there whenever I can and trying to do my job behind the plate and work with these pitchers.
One of the things that's amazing to me, Tuffy, is you get to camp and there are so many pitchers. And talking Scott Service, it was probably 3 or 4 days ago, and talking about you guys as a catching group, and he singled you out and was talking about how much you know of a lot of these guys, but you still have to go through camp and see guys you probably never have seen before. Can you just talk to the fans and tell them how difficult that part of it is?
Honestly, I think for the catchers, I think that's the hardest part, because we get some of these guys that we've never seen before. Maybe we've faced them or maybe we've seen them on TV, but other than that, we really have no idea. And then you got to get to know them on a personal level, because you know, how they tick is the way that we can get them back on track if they're off track, or if something's going wrong. Then you know, that we got to know those things about them. So a lot of time we spend you know, off the field together, getting to know these guys. That's what I was going to say. We do some dinners, do some golf. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we didn't do any golf this year, but I don't get to golf much anymore with two toddlers.
Understood.
But yeah, I used to golf.
Hey, what are your thoughts, and how do you think it's going to affect the game? Part of your job, and you just mentioned that's why I thought about it, was trying to get these guys back on track, but going to be limited with visits. How is that going to affect your job?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to make us think about it, I think, later in the game. We're going to try to, you know, not use a ton early in the game, because later in the game we might need to use a few more, depending on the situation. But you know, Skip told us not to worry about it and just go about our game and try to work with these pitchers. And if we think we need to go out there and do something, then go ahead and go out there and do it. But you know, I think a couple nights ago we were in Oakland and we used all 6, and you know, it was something I had to think about. I came in the 7th and we only had 1 left, so it's something you definitely have to worry about late in the game if you don't have many left.
I'm curious, all you catchers become managers at some point in your careers. Is it as a catcher here in camp, is it a plus or a minus that the guy is the manager of your club was also a catcher and played for a long time?
You know, I think that's probably a question for each catcher who plays for a catcher. But, you know, it's great for us here. He's got a lot of knowledge, and he's very good about letting us know about things we can do better, and he goes about it in a great way.
What's it like being in your home area here, having played at Arizona State?
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know, spring training in Arizona. I had 7 spring trainings in Florida after I got drafted with the Phillies. So my last 6 have been in Arizona, and it's nice to stay home for an extra month.
How good is the bullpen going to be?
I really like the bullpen. I mean, Nicasio is a huge get for us. Eddie Diaz has looked really good. Nick Vincent has been Nick Vincent all spring.
Dan Altavilla looks like he's turned the corner.
Danny Altavilla looks like a different guy to me.
Yeah.
How so?
I think he's very confident in what he's doing now, and I think he's got trust in his slider, and I think that makes a big difference for him, because now he's truly feels like he can throw a fastball or slider in any count, make him a lot less predictable. You know, he does throw 99, 100 miles an hour, but at the same time, if a major league hitter goes up there and he knows that he only has to look for a fastball, these guys can hit it.
Well, that slider, we've seen it when he's had some nights where it is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it can be electric, that's for sure.
Indeed.
It's about 90 miles an hour, too, so
yeah,
it's a lot of guys' fastballs.
Amen. Hey, Tuffy, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, you bet. Take care.
Bye.
Brewers strand a runner. We go to the home fourth, tied at 2. west of Peoria, Arizona. It's Saturday, March 31st. And marks the return of Robinson Cano Bobblehead Day, presented by Root Sports. Free to the first 20,000 fans. Plus, hidden in 10 of the bobblehead boxes are golden tickets. They're good for complimentary round-trip airfare for 2 on Alaska Airlines. So log on to Mariners.com for your tickets. The Seager rockets one. High, deep right center field. And it's run down out there by Keon Broxton, one of the better center fielders in the National League. We got a guest entering the booth here. Mariners Hall of Famer, greatest Mariner of them all, Ken Griffey Jr. Where you been? How you been? I texted you and you said, I said, you come to spring training? I get, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
I got 3 kids.
You're not going to lock him down. I mean, he's not going to give you a day and a time.
Oh,
well, you got here. That's all that matters.
No.
Good to see you.
Thanks. How are you guys?
Doing well. Doing well. The boys look great. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, they drive me crazy.
They love it, though. Come on.
What? I come to spring training so I can feed them.
It looks like that's happening.
Oh,
it's working, paying off. What else you been up to lately?
Nothing. I mean, Taryn graduates in May, so
congratulations, U of A, University of Arizona.
So she's out. She'll be out of the. Well, she'll be back moving in the house. Then little guy will be out in a couple years. So we're yeah.
That's tripping right there.
And then I move out because I know that all that attention starts going from the kids to the husband. I don't want to be a part of that. I just want to play a little golf.
2-2. Ken Griffey Jr. with us.
Outside of the golf and coming by to entertain us, what else are you doing while you're here in Arizona?
Actually, nothing. I just came to spring training.
Yeah.
You know, Tevin's on spring break, so he hasn't really seen spring training. You know, he was young when I retired, so he's been like, this is what you do all day.
After for years, you told him how hard you were working.
Oh. So I'd be asleep. I tell him I come home and take a nap. He'd be like, really? He'd be like, yeah, you got a lot of energy. I don't have that energy. Yeah.
You going to make any trips to Seattle this summer?
4 times. 4 times.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not making it the first one. I'll probably come in on the second one just because you guys have a day off. I don't know how hectic spring, you know, the first series.
Yeah.
You know, a lot
Good point.
So I'll visit the guys on the second trip in and see them in a couple times on the road.
Look for you at the Oakland series mid-April. There you go.
Yeah.
Did you see Zunino's home run?
No, I was coming in. So I didn't get a chance to see that one.
Smoked it. Line drive like he used to hit.
I hit pop-ups.
Yeah, right. 630 of them.
I just carried. I hit line drives that carry.
All right, who have you seen on your, I know you have all of, a lot of my idols on speed dial. Who have you talked to lately, other Hall of Famers?
Well, I called Willie a couple weeks ago. He was getting a haircut. So I was
Did he wear you out?
No, I was checking in on him, seeing how he's doing. Heard he was under the weather, so I figured I'd give him a call.
Mm-hmm.
And
hope to see him when we're down there, San Francisco, open their home open.
Yeah, so I said, hey, man, how you feeling? He goes, Junior, I'm going to call you back. I'm getting a haircut. Like, all right. He calls me back. How you doing? I was like, no. I'm asking you how you doing. He's like, I'm all right. Eyesight's going a little bit, but other than that, I still think I can hit.
Wow, he's 86 years old. God bless him. You talked to Mr. Aaron?
No, the last time I talked to him was at the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And I know there's an event that he hosts, I want to say in June, that I got an invitation for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's, I'll go up and see him then.
I may have asked you this before, but I got to ask you again. Zunino, that's another deep drive. Way back, right center field, up on the berm, a 2-run homer, Mike Zunino. It's 4-2 Mariners, his second 2-run shot tonight. Mike Z with 4 home runs. Have a night, big fella. That Serious strength. Berm to berm, left center, right center.
Yeah, we talked a lot about him changing his stance and where his hands are and all those different things, but last week talked a lot about thinking more right center, and it's paying off for him. And that's exactly where that lands, right up on the berm.
But you're Ken Griffey Jr. with us. I wanted to ask you this: when the last couple of years, when you go up to the Hall of Fame and you see all the fellas, who is that you're most excited to see that maybe you haven't seen in a while? Somebody you catch up with, the Hall of Famers. 'Cause I love it when you guys come out, when they introduce all you guys. That is awesome.
Well, in the back is a hoot, because these guys.
I can only imagine
being there jockeying for position. Then,
right?
then they find out where they're sitting, and then they complain about that. You know, why do I got to sit in front?
Did you get a chance to see any of the alumni that are here tonight? Alvin and all those guys?
I saw Alvin earlier today, and I saw McLaren and Renee Lashman. So I got a chance to say hi to those guys. But I was over there talking to the kids. What was funny is Zanino right before the game goes, "Hey," I go, "Nice socks. You got to get on about his socks." You know, I've done a lot of things in my career. Never wore my own picture on my socks. And he did it. Now he got 4 RBI. I might have missed something there. He got 4 ribbies and I might have missed something.
Now, were you just walking around holding court today? Because I happened to walk in from the complex and back. I walked in one door. I couldn't see you, but I could hear you. And the minute I came around the corner, doors were closing and you were gone. But everybody could hear you walking through the place. It's like a tidal wave going through there.
Nah, it wasn't me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just saying hello to the nice people who are the stadium.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
I went looking for you. You know what? I ended up finding Roger Hansen instead. And I asked Roger, and he said, you know what, he's called me a bunch of times, but I haven't seen him.
No, he hadn't seen me. No, I've called him a couple times to make sure he was all right.
It's one of my favorite pictures that they have in the offices here is you and Roger in the dugout way back in the day, and then some of the pranks that you would play on him.
Well,
yeah, we used to get a laugh about all that.
When you're roommates.
Yeah.
You know, I'd call my mom, and he used to say, hey, that's enough. Mrs. Griffey, he's going to call you tomorrow. We're going to go to bed. It's like, that's my mom. And my mom loves him. For some strange reason, how's Roger doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't like Roger.
Ichiro strikes out. Junior, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by, man. All the best.
Thank you.
Ken Griffey Jr. joining us here. Mike Zunino. Big night. Two-run homers.
Mariners lead it 4-2. Basically, Mike Zunino is single-handedly beating the Brewers right now. A couple of 2-run home runs. But we want to talk about his battery mate right now, Mike Leake, out on the mound. We wondered how this start was going to go. because time is winding down here in spring training. His numbers have not been fantastic, but with a veteran like Mike Leake, Ryan, it's not all about the numbers, is it?
No, it's not. And what we saw early in camp with Mike Leake, a lot of strikes, still hasn't walked a guy. We talked about that in the pregame. But you're watching that sinker right now. There's been times in this game where it's going side to side, not up and down. And that's something that's going to change. You see another one right there. That pitch stays up on that same plane. This is something when you go north and you get out of the desert, that pitch is going to start having that sink. But you're seeing a few more breaking balls and expanding the zone. A couple of big strikeouts with that breaking ball. So you're going to see that these last couple starts.
To Ryan's point, Mike Blowers, he hadn't walked a batter until tonight. He walks his first one, but it's not necessarily that this guy is in the zone, and that's why he was getting hit. What have you seen about Mike Leake tonight that you like that's different from his previous starts?
Well, I think for one, I like that he's mixing in his breaking ball more tonight, and he's trying to expand the zone with it. I think that's helped his fastball, especially to the right-handers. He's pitching in a little bit more. I agree with what Ryan was talking about. Once he goes north, you're going to see some depth to his pitches even more. And you talk about him not walking anybody as he picks up a strike out there on another breaking ball. Looked like it was just off the outside corner. That's a quality pitch. I think that early in camp, because he's a strike thrower, he's probably working more to the middle of the plate, and as camp has moved on, he's tried to work towards the edges as opposed to guys that are nibbling a little bit more earlier that maybe are trying to make a team. That's not the case with him, obviously. So I just think that more than anything, he's just starting to get out of the middle of the plate, which is going to help him.
And what I like about him the most is how quickly he works. We'll get it back to Dave Sims with news on David Phelps, and it's not good.
Not at all, and he is done for the season. Ulnar collateral ligament damage, and he is lost for the season to the Mariners. And that's, that the deep bullpen. He was a part of what was looking like a terrifically deep bullpen, and now you take him out, and it probably opens the door for Casey Lawrence for sure. It almost cements his spot.
Casey's having a terrific spring, but again, you talk about the depth and the need to have all those pitchers, and Phelps was going to be a big part of the bullpen. You're talking about a guy that can be a multiple inning guy. He can pitch at the back end of your bullpen when you need him to. He's been around. He's a veteran guy. That one's going to be a tough one. So the good news is Casey Lawrence has thrown the ball well, and they have a number of other guys too that are going to be there. But they were really counting on him to be a big part of the pen, which is really going to be a strength to this club.
Swing and a miss. 3-2. Christian Bethencourt, the catcher. Mike Leake, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Giving up 2 runs on 4 hits. 3-2 pitch here. Through the hole, base hit. Second hit tonight for Bethencourt. 1 out, 1 on. Take advantage of the Safeco Field Suite Special. It's going on right now. When you pay in full for 2 or more suites by March 30th, you're going to get a free private suite for select games. Your clients will enjoy a great space to catch the game, and you'll enjoy great savings. For more info, log on to mariners.com/premium. Here's a pitcher, Brett Suter. The bunt down, almost bunted into a double play. He's got good speed. He got down the line really well. Seager knows what kind of gum he's got, and he swings the bat and lines it to left. Guillermo Heredia is out there, makes the catch.
Pretty good swing.
It was.
At the top of that order for Milwaukee, second baseman, Jonathan Taylor.
Butcher Boy, and we don't see that often.
And most of the time when you do see this, he's going to bring the bat back, and they're just trying to slap the ball, but he hits a line drive with some authority. Yeah.
That's a good swing. My goodness. Top of the order, Jonathan Villar. Walk, RBI double. We saw a lot of VR during his years, 13, 14, and 15, part-time player down in Houston. Hit 241, 11 homers, 40 runs. Batted in last season. Not much of a lead by the catcher, Bethencourt. 2 out, 1 on. Mike Zunino's hit 2 two-run homers. 1 in the second to left center, One in the fourth to right center. They come back here, it's 2-0. Boy, Mariners used 40 pitchers last year, 41 when you count Carlos Ruiz. What a relief. What do you have, 2 relief appearances? I know he had
two,
one,
I
too.
believe, yeah.
Was it 17 starters? There was some good news in talking to Scott Service today, and then again to Mel Stottlemyre. They are extraordinarily pleased with what they're seeing from Hisashi Iwakuma. Scott even on Monday and reiterated today that late May, early June could be a target area. That one stung deep to the gap. Long run D. Gordon, not going to get it. In full flight as Bethan Cordy's coming around third. He's going to score. That's a 4-3 ball game on an RBI double by Jonathan Villar. His second hit tonight, his second RBI. That ball hit hard.
You can see shading towards left center field. Solid line drive. It's just short of the warning track.
Talking to Mel today about Iwakuma, said pain-free. He's got back to his normal slot. Ball's coming out of his hand really well. And he is way ahead of where they thought he would be here on, what, March 21. So you're talking May, early June. That's pretty good. Hop over to Beckham. It was Beckham. Gets the final out. A run scored by the Brewers to make it a 4-3 game.
Spring is coming, and
Mariners Spring Training on Root Sports is presented by Dunn Lumber, building success together.
Beautiful night here in Peoria, Arizona's D. Gordon. Down the right field line. He's got extra bases on his mind. Play in front of him. He's digging. He's in there standing. Leadoff double for D. Gordon here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Second hit for D. Got a base hit to center field his first time up.
And he's been aggressive his last 2 at-bats. Pitcher is right on the inside corner. Hits a line drive, and with his speed, no chance to get him at second base. Good way to start the inning.
His second double this spring. Came in hitting .326 here in the Cactus League. Here's Andrew Romine. Couple of strikeouts. Brett Suter on the mound. He struck out 7, walked 1. But a beauty. It's a runner over. Well done. Bottom of the 5th is brought to you by Heritage Distilling. BSB Brown Sugar Bourbon. You can't spell baseball without BSB. sacrifice 1-3 by Romine.
A job well done for Romine. Talked about it with him. He's been around and he understands with Gordon being the runner at second base, you don't have to try to put it on the line. Just get it fair and move the runner along, and that's exactly what he did. And now the infield's in for Robbie.
Robbie slapped one to left field. Last time up, he's 1 for 2. A 4-3 ball game against the Brewers, who come in 16-17-2. Mariners 11-14-1. Be on air tomorrow night. Marco Gonzalez make the start. Be on air. 6:40 first pitch. 6:30 start time with the pregame show, and then Friday, Mariners play at the White Sox. Casey Lawrence will get the start, and then Saturday against the Cubs, 6:40 start, 6:30 airtime. Felix will start against the Chicago Cubs. And things go right, he's got a real good chance to start that 10th consecutive opening night.
3 innings, 38 pitches in his last outing. Probably try to get him out to that 55-60 pitch mark. Get him ready for the season.
Cano walks on 4 pitches. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Second walk issued by Suter. Bring up Ryan Healy. Healy with a base hit to left in the second. 3rd inning, struck out on a 1-2 pitch. Ryan Healy, hope to have him join us after he comes out of the game, but thrilled to be back in action. He's been taking BP, started late last week, and here he is. He's played some games now. Good to see him swinging the bat. This is the 3rd game for Ryan.
And talking to him earlier in spring training, he's in a much better place right now. Just really wanting to get in the lineup.
Know it. Strike 1. Mariners got on the board first, 2nd inning. Mike Zunino, 2 out, a man aboard, hit a home run left center field.
See Milwaukee push to the middle of the infield back for the double play.
Fly ball left field. Gordon's gonna tag. And he'll score, and the Mariners have a 5-3 lead. RBI on the shot fly by Ryan Healy. Nicely done. Double, sacrifice bunt, sacrifice fly.
Tried to get a fastball in on his hands. Short swing, though, was able to get the barrel to it. He leaves the batter's box. He knows that's deep enough to score Gordon. Doesn't take much of a fly ball, but that pushed him back to the warning track.
Brewers got a couple runs. VR and Arcia, 3rd inning RBIs. The Zunino 2-run homer in the 4th. And when I looked down and I saw Milwaukee, I almost said Braves. It's been a while since the Braves were there, but that's what I grew up with. The other way, foul, 0-2. John McLaren has joined us. Jim Brower's joined us. We've had Tuffy Goswitch.
Junior.
And Junior. A cavalcade of stars. Going to hear from Brian Holman next half inning. And later, Kenny Phelps will join, and they'll talk about that historic night in Oakland, April 20 of 1990 at the Coliseum. Holman got the first 26 men out, then Kenny Phelps happened.
I believe he was a pinch hitter.
He was, from Mike Gallego. The wild pitch gets Robbie to second. RBI opportunity for Seager. It's hit by a pitch and fly to center. 2-2. Shift is on for Kyle, second baseman in short right field. 2-2 pitch. Count runs full. Center fielder, make that the right fielder, Phillips, and VR, the second baseman. Aligned almost in an I formation out there. 3-2 pitch. Took a little bit off, hit hard. Phillips will not get it. Cano will trot around, he'll score. RBI Kyle Seager and a 6-3 Mariner lead. Receives his 4th RBI this spring. Did a nice job getting to a deep count.
And 3-2, you might expect a fastball, but that's a breaking ball. He leaves it in the middle of the plate. Kyle gets just enough of it towards the end of the bat. Soft line drive into right, but he'll pick up an RBI.
But I like the way Healy's hit the ball tonight. Robbie, Seager,
yeah, a 3-2.
Zunino.
Yeah.
And Nelly's not even playing tonight. He'll be in tomorrow. And Suter, his night done. Good stuff here for the Mariners. They have 6 runs on 7 hits with a 6-3 lead over the Brewers. The Mariners, a 6-3 lead. Couple home runs by Mike Zunino. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Beautiful night for baseball here as we get a day closer to opening night. And a familiar face here, Giovanni Gallardo. He's back with the Brewers. Brought to the Mariners last year, had some up and down times. But he's back in familiar territory where he had a lot of success in the beginning stages of his career. Snap throw, Seager just getting back.
Now likes to be aggressive on the bases. Pretty big lead. Bethencourt has a great throwing arm. Fortunately, that was in the dirt. Helped Kyle out a little bit.
Gallardo spent 8 years with Milwaukee. 89 and 64, 3.69 ERA. It's hit pretty well off the bat of Haniger, and it's run down by Keon Broxton. RBIs by Healy and Seager in the 5th take the lead to 6-3. When we come back, we'll talk to Brian Holman right after this here at Root Sports.
Legendary toughness, cutting
Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Magic Toyota, right on Highway 99 in Edmonds, by Jet Chevrolet. Shop 24/7 at Jet Chevrolet. And by your Western Washington Honda dealers. Visit your local Honda dealer today. Got the GoPro working big time here out of the Canyon. As Mike Leake soldiers on here. This will be the 6th inning for him. Good for him. And joining us right now, Brian Holman, 5 years in the major leagues, 3 with the Mariners, 89 to 91. Right-hander, good to see you, pal. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Nice to be back with the fellas, right? The alumni night.
It is a great group of people and good friends and fun stories.
Well, what was the biggest lie you heard tonight?
Ken Phelps goes, "Hey, you want to go take some batting practice?"
That's not right.
It wasn't right, was it? Right. That was great, though. That was tremendous.
We were talking earlier in the game about Mike Leake, and I don't know how much you've seen or know about him, Brian, but it seems to me watching him go about his business, he's very familiar with watching you and the way he moves the ball around, changing speeds and all those things that you have to do. Works quickly.
He's competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, wants the ball and attacks his zone and trusts his stuff. And
hit the left field. Kirk Neuenhuis in at left field will track it down.
What are you up to these days?
So, living in Texas, working in an academy called Texas Edge Baseball, and a great group of people, and doing lessons and coaching 13-year-olds. I hate 13-year-olds, but they're but, you know, it's a great time to mold and develop them and shape them, so it's fun. And then running part of the academy, so having a great time and staying baseball.
We were talking earlier with all the numbers and analytics that are in the game today. Do you guys use any of that stuff with kids that are that young, and especially when you've had them for a while, or does it stick to the basics with them?
No, I'll stick to the basics. I think the hardest thing is to try to teach them not to fear failure, go out and play hard, and you know, you're going to fail, but anymore they just struggle with trying to be they don't like to fail, and they don't like to fail a lot. Obviously nobody does, but in this game there's so much failure. To try to teach them to move on is hard. Go to the next thing, go to the next thing. Don't let it fester.
That's tough.
Very tough, and especially when you're 13 and you don't know whether you should cry or get mad, or you can't see past Friday night most of the time, so trying to get them to see a big picture is tough.
Well, since you're in the middle of teaching and you see everything that's going on, what's your explanation for the velocity in the game today? There's so many guys that throw so hard, and we see it night after night. Bullpens now, it used to be they were lucky to have one guy to throw 95 plus. Now they have 2 or 3. Starters now are doing the same thing. Why is that?
Well, you know, you hit around the head. Back in our day, we had Nolan Ryan and Clemens and Randy Johnson. Those a few that threw hard. But today, everybody throws hard, and I think part of it's training, and they start earlier. You know, they focus on baseball more, or one sport. I can't say the radar guns are different. I think in our day we used the ray guns versus what they use today. So I don't say they're faster, but they read them differently, I think, out of their hand than they did when we were playing. But I think one thing that's hard is that because we're so velocity focused in baseball in general, I think we don't focus as much on teaching kids at a younger age how to pitch, how to command their fastball. And their fastballs, 75% of outs come on fastballs. And so if they can command their fastball and learn to throw a changeup, but by the time they're 14 or 15, they're trying to throw 95 miles an hour, and they have throwers now, not pitchers.
So you're saying down and away is still a pretty good pitch?
It's a great pitch, yeah. And up and in's a good pitch, too.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time teaching to command, throw both fastballs on both sides of the plate, throwing changeups, and I really frown upon kids throwing breaking balls until they have a driver's license or they can shave, and then once they're strong enough, they can pick it up very fast. But they have to learn to command their fastball.
A lot to be said for that. Is that message going industry-wide in terms of youngsters?
Well, we hope so. But, you know, I still coach 13-year-olds, and a couple weekends ago we played a team, and the kid probably threw 100 pitches in 5 innings, and 70% were curveballs. And you just shake your head, and you're going, you know, there's kid's not going to last very long, but you know they won the game at 13, so that was important.
As opposed to its future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
so we try not to be, you know, smart enough about it, but it's true, and so trying to teach them, develop them is difficult, but it's also teaching them to be patient and not try to be more than they are right now.
I'm sure some people are wondering what your brother Brad is up to these days.
So Brad is the AAA pitching coach with the Washington Nationals. He'd be in Syracuse. I talk to him every day about pitching, and you know, I try to give him pointers and tell Max Scherzer what to do. Of course, he laughs. It's a good time, but you know, he's a good pitching coach and loves to teach, and has come a long way in the game.
Has he been to the facility in Texas?
He has not. Unfortunately,
cost too much money to get him there.
Well, you know, I told him he can't get on my turf. But you know, it's great. We come from a big pitching family, and just lost my stepfather a couple days ago, who was the scout for the Expos, who signed me, in fact.
Wow.
And ended up later marrying my mom, and so he was one of our family members who was another pitcher, and we just grew pitchers, so we lost him, which was a sad, unfortunate thing.
That Expo connection, that's how you got here to Seattle.
Yes, sir, it was. Just talked to Woody Woodward about the trade, and I was teasing him and telling him that every May 25th I send Dave Dombrowski a text and say, guess what today was?
Do you really?
Yeah, I do every year.
Because I see Dave.
Oh, yeah. And every year he goes, the worst trade I ever made. So it's pretty funny.
Randy getting rid of bringing you up and sending Randy Johnson to Seattle.
So we had, in the trade was Mark Langston and Mike Campbell from myself, Randy Johnson, and Gene Harris, and that's how we all came to Seattle. But you and I played in Montreal together.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? And back then, people can't, when I tell them our AA teams and our AAA teams and the talent that was on those teams, they can't believe it. We just beat everybody.
Tremendous farm system. They did things the right way.
They did, yeah.
Really prepared all of us. It's a lot of fun, too.
It was.
It's off the fist by Broxton. Throw to third by Haniger. Plenty of time.
What an arm.
That'll do it for the Brewers here in the 6th. When we come back, Brian Holman will stick around. We've got Kenny Phelps joining us right after this.
At the Lexus Command Performance
for the Mariners. Hey, it's not too early to select the lineup of games. You want to see the summer at Safeco Field. Be on hand for can't miss series versus the Red Sox, Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, and more. Tickets for these marquee matchups, they're available right now, Mariners.com. Mike Zunino's had a fabulous night. Home run left center field, 2-run shot, home run right center field, 2-run shot. Goes against a guy he caught last year, Giovanni Gallardo. Bottom third of the order for the Mariners. Zunino to be followed by Beckham and Heredia. Run down some changes.
A lot of changes, Dave.
Oh, yeah. My favorite time of the game. Craig Counsell emptying the bench. Run those down as we move along. 1-1 here to Mike. 2-1.
Coming to Arizona just has such great feel, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, it's just nothing better. You come and just the smell of the air and the dry air and in the baseball here is just so great.
Zunino, line drive, gone! Another home run for Mike Zunino. A 3-homer night for the Z-Man. Got it on a 2-1 pitch. He's on fire.
Locked in.
They've all been smoked.
He's ready for the season to start.
Like right now.
And we talked about it in his approach and made a lot of mechanical changes to his swing, but more importantly his approach. And you can see this little breaking ball and stays on, and this is a line drive. We saw him hit the fastball out to right center his last time up. Tremendous power.
Impressive. Hit 25 last year. 25 homers, 25 doubles. Gordon Beckham 0 for 2, ground out and a fly out. Gordo, right center field and deep, but it's going to stay in the yardage. Run down out there by Trent Gresham. It's going away. Bring up Guillermo Heredia. Took over for Ichiro. Hey, Ryan, Dave Sims, along with Mike Blowers. Good to have you back on the show. And since the last time you were on, you're swinging a bat in live action. You must be thrilled.
Oh, man, you betcha. It's been a really, really exciting last, we'll call it 10 days, 2 weeks or so. Making a lot of progress, making big strides, so it's been really fun.
I've really been amazed. It seems to me that you're a lot closer than I expected you to be, Ryan. You know, even when you're making some outs, you're making some hard outs. It looks like you're picking the ball up pretty well. By the way, I thought you did check your swing earlier today. I know you weren't happy about that.
Thank you. Everyone has said that, but you know what? It doesn't take the strikeout away, but might as well get him out of the way now.
Hey, you picked up an RBI later, but how do you feel at the plate?
You know what? Overall, I feel decent. There's definitely things coming. You know, unfortunately, I'm not the most positive person when I talk like this, but, you know, I think that, you know, for where I'm at, considering in my swinging days, I'm really, really happy with my progress and only going to continue to move forward.
Bone spurs in your hand. No, you're taken out. No after effects from the operation. You're pain-free.
No, thank goodness. Knock on wood. It's been smooth sailing. You know, definitely some bumps in the road along the way, but I felt like this training staff here has done an amazing job. Coaching staff too has been super supportive, and everyone from, you know, top to bottom has helped me a lot, and it's gotten me to where I am right now.
Opening day is going to be here in a hurry. How much do you expect to play here in this last week?
You know, it's kind of just talking with you know, Skip about that. Just trying to get as many ABs as I can, whether that be over here or the minor league side. Just kind of get as much bulk as I can. You know, but luckily I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong, and right now just kind of get my timing and comfort down.
Yeah, you looked like you're pretty busy on Monday, shuttling back and forth between the two fields, right? What was that experience like?
I'm gonna be honest, that was a first for me. I've never experienced something like that, being able to drive a golf cart myself back and forth from minor league fields. You know, it's not something I ever envisioned doing. So, you know, for me, it was an interesting experience.
Ryan, good to have you back in the lineup, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.
You bet. 7-4 Mariners as we go to the 7th. the promise has been big for a lot of years, and man, it is being realized here tonight as it was last year when he hit 25 home runs. Tonight, a 3 home run night, and all of those home runs have been blistered. 3 home runs tonight, give him 5 on the spring. He's got 11 RBIs, and the Mariners have a 7-4 lead here against the Milwaukee Brewers. And joining us right now, Kenny Phelps joins us. Brian Holman already here. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers. All right, boys, let's relive it. Take you back to April 20th, 1990. Mr. Holman, you're rolling. You get 26 consecutive outs right out of the gate. Come on. And then,
I'd like to be 33 again, Brian. I know that.
Kenny, good to see you, man.
I don't know if I'd catch up with your heater now, but I'll tell you what, I'd like to be 33 again.
You pinch hit for Ken Phelps, pinch hit for Mike Gallego. What's going through your mind? 26 outs.
Wow. Just how exciting everything was at the time. The crowd and what was happening, and, you know, never ever in a million years thought I would have been at that position at that time. And it just was. And then they announced, you know, Kenny Phelps, and first pitch, he did exactly what he should have done. It was belt high right down the middle, and he smoked it. So
I just looked at it on YouTube. Yeah, he did.
It only went out by like 5 feet, though.
Yeah, Canseco and McGuire are the only 2 guys who could make that ballpark look small.
Yeah.
You know, I was just grateful it got out. But nonetheless, the funniest thing after I hit that, I mean, you were so phenomenal that night. I said, I normally don't have any chance. If I'd have tried to get deep in the count off of you, for sure I'd have been done. So I normally never offered at the first pitch. And I said, well, if it's close, I got to be hacking.
And that was a scouting report.
Oh,
you never swing at the first pitch. So Val puts first pitch fastball, go get him, and then and I said, okay, here it is, and wham. So I blame Valley.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, I come around home plate. Tony LaRussa says. He says, man, you took the monkey off my back or whatever. I said, hey, Tony, maybe we wouldn't have had this problem if you'd have started.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's hilarious.
You got to give me one on that. That's beautiful.
Well, who knows? I mean, he was so good that night. I mean, gosh, it didn't affect him at all because the next hitter was Ricky Henderson leading off, and he punched him out like it was nothing.
Well, you know, the funny part was warming up, I was not good.
Really?
I was warming up, I was terrible. Things just were not good, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And in fact, Keith Comstock was laughing later. He said, you know, you were so bad warming up, we were taking on bets on who was going to be the first reliever in the game. How long you're going to last.
It is amazing how many stories you hear like that. Hey, I had really good stuff. You come in and get knocked out in the 3rd of an inning, or you got absolutely nothing, can't find it, and here it is. You just missed the perfect game.
I've had games where I've had been electric stuff in the bullpen and didn't get an out in the 1st inning. Wow. Didn't last. And then that night, but I just had to focus and bear down, and I literally went back to pitching 101. Keep the ball down, throw first pitch strikes, get ahead, throw in, don't hang sliders to McGuire or Canseco. I didn't think about Phelps at the time.
No, I was way down there hitting for Gallego or somebody. There wasn't anything to worry about down there. But, you know, the thing is, it was so amazing that night. I mean, it was a cool night, of course. The ballpark's huge. It's a great pitcher's ballpark.
Sure, it is. It really is.
But you carved up a heck of a lineup. I mean, that team went to the World Series the year before. They won the World Series, and that was basically the same club. And, you know, that was an unbelievable feat, and he did a great job.
Talking about Brian Holman's almost perfect game, April 20th, 1990. At what point did the bell go off in your head? It's like, dude, this is unbelievable. I'm rolling here.
So the 7th inning, I struck out Canseco, and I ran off the field. And as I sat down in the bench, everybody got away from me. Nobody talked to me. Nobody looked at me, give me a drink of water, a towel. And, I mean, Rick Griffin wouldn't even give me a towel. He's like, and then I looked at the scoreboard, and I'm like, what's wrong with everybody? And there were zeros all the way across. And that's when I first realized that I had a no-hitter, and then nobody's been on base yet, so I got a perfect game. So then I started getting nervous because I didn't think anything about it the whole time. And then just had to tell myself, just keep doing what you're doing, go out and have fun. And, you know, if this happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, but probably the neatest thing for me was when you had 2 outs and the fans in Oakland stood up and started cheering. That was electric. You know, just the whole atmosphere was really neat. So that's probably, you know, obviously for me, my highlight of my career was going out and being involved in that type of pressure or that type of fun.
So top 9, you got to swing the bat for Alvin, right?
Yeah, man, I can hit, man. I was excited.
Here we go. All right. I was all in, Brian, but here we go.
So I'm looking at Henry Cotto on deck, and I'm saying, Turbo, you got to get out. You got to get out. So he walks, and I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? He's I'm so sorry. You know, he's running down to first, and so I had to hit. So, but I made contact, and you know, just a split second, I'd have got a single.
Well, you talked about when you noticed what was going on and the nervousness and how you were able to get past that. But once Ken hits the home run, right, everything is done at that point. Did Val come out and talk to you? What happened after that? I know that you ended up striking out Ricky, but was there a deep breath behind the mound? What happens then?
So Val starts coming out, and then Jimmy starts coming out, Jimmy the Fever. And I look at Val, and I go, why is he coming out here? I want to get this over with and move on. You know, I don't want to talk about it. Let's go. And Jimmy came out, and I said, I'm fine. Let's go. Let's get it done. And he walked back in, and fortunately, I was able to strike out Ricky, and the game was over. But you think about how close you were. But I'm telling you, I'm more well known for not getting that perfect game than I ever would have been if I'd have got it. You know, seriously. You know, the stories I hear of people, what they were doing at that time, and all the from anniversaries I ruined to
everybody tuned in. You know, and you talk about the fans were cheering for you. They were booing me when I hit the home run, and they were my home fans.
Tough
I
fans.
couldn't win for trying.
Kenny, what was it like in your dugout? I mean, you said what inning was it? The 7th inning?
7th inning.
How about you guys? Did you realize that what he had going was that special? I mean, that it was a perfecto?
There were 2 or 3 guys who came up to me and said, hey, I want you to hit now. They didn't want to hit anymore, and I don't blame them. But no, I knew I was going to pinch hit for one of the guys at the bottom of the lineup because that lineup was so stacked. But, you know, there wasn't much you could do that night. I mean, he was on, and, you know, Blow, and you played a long time. You know, when guys are on, they got their A game, and they got 3 pitches working that are quality pitches, and that was pretty much what Brian had that night. He might even have had 4, but he didn't need them all. Everything he was throwing was crisp, and he was getting it over the plate. Those are games when you just come back to the dugout and go, boys, I'm hoping to maybe go 0 for 2 with a walk, because that's about as good as I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah. Hey, when you tell your kids about it, what did they say? I mean, are they...
Well, you know, I was laughing the other day. I told him I had to come down here. We're going to do this Mariner reunion, and I'll see my son. And I said, you know, I forget to tell you guys, you know, I'm kind of a big deal. You got and they laugh, of course, because I've just coached him, you know. But you know, you talk about perfect games, and as a pitcher, that's the last thing on your mind. I mean, you're facing the A's. I faced him the start before and lost.
Brutal lineup to deal with.
Unbelievable. And so, you know, you don't think about that. You just think about getting outs and doing your thing. And fortunately, I just had one of those nights where it didn't matter. I could have smashed a gnat's ass from 60 feet 6 inches, and everything was working well, and just moved on.
Did you have anything close to that even in the minor leagues coming through?
I came close to no hitters a couple times, threw some 1-hitters, but never. You know, in the minor leagues, I walked as many guys as I struck out. I mean, I was wild. I threw the ball like I wasn't Randy Johnson wild, but I was wild until I got probably the first or second year in the big leagues, and I started calming down and learned how to pitch. But I still walked more guys than I should have. But one of those nights you just have. I think a couple times I had 3-2 counts and got out of it. So.
Wow, what a story. You'll never forget. I mean, 4/20/90 sticks in your mind, doesn't it? I know it probably does for you, right?
Now here's the deal. You know what else is on April 20th, 1990? It's Hitler's birthday and National Marijuana Day.
Oh,
didn't know that.
I'll have to change that notation in my calendar.
So, you know,
Holy
we can't think too big and highly of it.
Oh my goodness. Oh God. Hey Brian, thanks a lot, man.
I appreciate it.
All the best. Kenny, good to see you, man.
Hey, you guys,
Great to see you.
Good luck this year.
Thanks, Blow.
Yeah, you got it.
Thanks a lot. Oh man, great stuff. Great stuff. Brian Holman and Ken Phelps. Jeremy Jeffress takes over on the mound for Milwaukee in the 7-4 Mariner lead. Zach Vinci taking over for Andrew Romine. That was fun. That was really fun. I remember it, and then I did a little Google, and it's up on YouTube. And I watched, they had a nice, about a 3-minute package on it. And he's right. First pitch fastball, boom.
Wow, and at the time, I didn't know Ken Phelps at all. I knew who he was, obviously, but I didn't know him at all. I knew Brian because both of us were in the minor leagues with the Expos. So I was pulling for him and disappointed it didn't happen on that night. But it's great to see the two of them together, having a few laughs about it now. And I'm not sure that Ken should have said something about batting practice today, but hey, they were having fun with it.
They've come this long.
Two good people.
What's that, 29 years ago? Yeah. Jeez. That or 28 years ago. My goodness.
That was fun.
2, 3, 4 in the order. Zach Vinci leading off. Daniel Vogelback's on deck. Chopper goes foul. But Ken Phelps had a nice career. He hit, let's see, 6 years with Seattle, hit 105 home runs, 11 years in the majors, 3 times 24 or more home runs. And of course, he's known for the tantrum on Seinfeld regarding the Buhner trade. Fly ball, right fielder coming in and makes the catch in fair territory. There's one away. Experience the excitement and tradition of opening night at Safeco Field on Thursday, March 29th. Enjoy fireworks and red carpet intros as we welcome back Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, and your favorite Mariners. Plus, it's your first chance to see the newest Mariner, D. Gordon. Visit Mariners.com for tickets. The pomp, the circumstance of opening night. Daniel Vogelback, he has had a fabulous spring. He's been more aggressive, total change of attitude in terms of his approach to swinging. This time rolls over on a pitch outside and is thrown out. But Vogelback, give you an idea what kind of spring he's had hitting before that at bat, hitting at 400, 18 for 45, 5 homers, and 11 runs batted in. 2 outs. And bring up Taylor Motter.
That 400 average is 3rd in big leagues. Vogelback also on base percentage is 3rd. Slugging percentage is 1st. 867 slugging.
Here's Motter, who's had a very good spring as well. Hitting at 314, 5 doubles, a triple, a homer, 11 runs batted in, 16 hits. He's also struck out 13 times.
6 stolen bases.
He's looked really good.
He's been on the move.
Yeah. He's looked really good on the base paths. Jeremy Jeffress back with Milwaukee. We saw him a little bit last year at Texas. Ball 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Big highlight tonight. Mike Zunino, 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in. That's what excites you about this lineup. Once you get everybody healthy, get Healy going, that bottom of the order has a chance to be extraordinarily potent.
Well, you mentioned Healy with his 25 home runs, a young player. Going to play at first every day. Probably hit 6th, 7th in the lineup. Mike with his 25 home runs, same 6th, 7th in the lineup. And then we're going to have Ichiro and Heredia hitting 9th.
Wheels down there.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah, and the top is not too shabby either. Going to have D. Gordon, and we forgot to mention Segura has got a little thumb problem the other day.
Yeah.
Went for a pop-up and was off balance and landed and kind of jammed that right thumb. So he's on the shelf. Hopefully we'll see him tomorrow or Saturday. Attendance tonight, 6,846 watching this Mariner. 7-run, 8-hit production. 4 runs, 11 hits for Milwaukee. Nicely done by Jeffress. 1, 2, 3 go the Mariners in the 7th. Here comes the 8th. Mariners lead by 3. Sky on this lovely evening down here, 21st of March, closing in on opening night, Safeco Field. Looking forward to it. I know you are too if you're a Mariner baseball fan. 7-4 lead for the Mariners as we go top 8. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Ken Griffey Jr., Kenny Phelps, Brian Holman, John McLaren, Jim Brower, James Pazos continues on.
This is something we're starting to see. Multiple innings for the relievers. Back-to-back days for them also.
Trent Grisham is the hitter. Two balls and one strike. Heater well placed, 2-2. Mariners be playing the National League West this year, and they got 3 of those teams made the playoffs last year. Dodgers National League champions, Giants trying to rebound. Zona made the playoffs, so did Colorado. Talented teams. Break to be called. Big time heat. Let's check in with Angie Menton.
Guys, thanks so much. Fans sending in their photos using the hashtag #WhereIRoot. Keep them coming, and we'll try to get your photos on the air. We've got this one from Suzanne Martin, here all the way from Indianapolis to watch my faves for the rest of the week. Huge fan. And again, that hashtag #WhereIRoot does give us permission to use your photo on the air. All right, Pazos is done for the evening, and we will take a short break and be right back to the Mariners and the Brewers. That's starting in April. Mariners All Access will be officially back. Get exclusive player interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and Mariners stories that you can't get anywhere else. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Dave, back to you.
Thank you very much. Ryan Cook, all-star with the A's back in 2012, coming off a rough outing his last time out against Cleveland. Third of an inning, 2 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 3 walks. Prior to that, he had been very sharp.
Well, the good news with him is his fastball has been there this year. This one's hitting the gap. His fastball's been 94, 95. Pretty good breaking ball. You mentioned his last outing, just didn't have the command. Had a tough time finding the strike zone with the 3 walks, and that cost him. But now we've already talked about it with Phelps being out. Good opportunity for him.
Nice work by James Pazos, inning in a third. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. 18 pitches, 12 for strikes. You like that? Here's Jake Gatewood. Zunino still in there catching. And Mike, let's see, 1, 2, scheduled to get another AB in the 8th.
Already 3 home runs.
That's good distance on all 3 home runs. It's a breaking ball over for strike 1-1. Here's 1-1 from Ryan Cook. Tommy John surgery for Cook, October of 2016. Missed the entire season while recovering. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2012 season, Ryan Cook went 6-2 with the A's, a 2.09 ERA with 14 saves. 73 in the 3rd innings, 80 Ks, 27 walks. Bouncing ball to the shortstop, Zach Vinci. Throws over to Mata, 2 down, runner to 3rd.
And a better pitch for him. For a couple of fastballs, goes with a slider that was down and away. Routine ground ball right to the shortstop. It's a good pitch.
Two away. Luis Aviles is the hitter. Ball 1. Mariners open the season March 29th. It'll be upon us before you know it. Cleveland Indians, Central Division defending champs. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday games. Then we go on the road, San Francisco, Minnesota, KC. Come home for Oakland and Houston mid-April. Two-oh count. Arena. Seven runs on 8 hits for the Mariners. 4 runs on 12 hits for Milwaukee. Cook back with a strike. 30-year-old from Clovis, California.
We've seen a pretty good slider. His fastball's 92 to 94 tonight.
A heck of a story if he can come back and make this club. 3-1. Best wishes go out to David Phelps.
Yes.
Season over. Missed the entire season, torn ulnar collateral ligament, right arm. Suffered the injury. Final pitch on St. Patrick's Day against the Angels. Cook finishes up with a strikeout. Strands a runner. Home 8th coming up. Mike Zunino scheduled to get his 4th AB.
Spring training on Root Sports is brought to you by Dunn Lumber, building success together. By Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. By Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. And by Fred Meyer. Mariners and Brewers going at it. Angie Mentink here, along with Ryan Rowland-Smith in the studio. Dave Sims and Mike Blowers are down there in Peoria. And Ryan, unfortunately, the Mariners got some bad news in regards to their bullpen. David Phelps out for the year, going to have Tommy John surgery. But again, this seems to be a strength of this team, and we saw James Pazos be brilliant again tonight.
Yeah, and the one strength they have with this bullpen, they do have depth, and they have different options. We talked about this in the pregame show about what steps James Pazos is going to take to be a guy in this bullpen. He has the stuff to be that 7th, 8th, 9th guy. To me, it comes down to command. We saw some really good sliders, and that's command too. Not just walks, slowing the walks, but I'm talking command on 2-strike pitches. We saw that really good slider to a right-handed hitter, and then dominating those lefties.
Now, I was wondering sort of maybe why they came out and got him in the middle of the inning, but you said this time of year that's important to do. Yeah, you're going to see guys in this last week get those back-to-back games, and also Scott Service. This is something we used to do as bullpen guys, is come into a game mid-inning, and sometimes you hope that there is a runner on base for Ryan Cook to come in with a bit of traffic. Pazos was perfect, so that didn't happen. But usually you try and get guys in different situations coming in mid-inning like they would in the regular season. Gotcha. Again, we're going to see Mike Zunino. It looks like they're going to give him another at-bat, and why not? The guy's got 3 home runs on the night. I just can't believe how far Mike Zunino has come, Mike Blowers, in what he has been able to do at the plate. We always knew this guy was a brilliant catcher. He did such a great job with the pitching staff. But to see what he's doing at the plate, and you're talking, as you mentioned, left center to right center. Yeah, it's been great to see for him. And you mentioned his defense. We also saw him throw out a runner tonight, strong throwing arm. So there's no issues with him defensively. It's just inconsistent offensively. And I just marvel at the fact that last year they gave him a couple of things to try, sent him down to AAA, keep in mind. And then they had another injury, so they had to call him back before they wanted to. But then he came back right away, and it's amazing what confidence will do with his new stance and his thought process. And all of a sudden he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He's hitting line drives and just kind of picked it up from there. And I like what Scott Brocious said to me early in camp. I was asking him about Mike, and we talked about his year last year and all different steps, and he said, you know what, I think he's going to be even better this year and be more consistent, just because he has these few things that he can go to, and he believes in it, and he's squared away across the board, including his thought process, and that's what we're seeing here in the spring. Yep, Dave Sims, he's a lot of fun to watch right now. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Craig Counsell making a pitching change with Zunino coming up. We'll see who comes in. Mariners with the lead. It's 7-4. Zunino trying to make it a 4-home run night here in Peoria, Arizona.
Spring is coming.
Mike Zunino. There was little doubt. Up on the berm.
And he gets a fastball that's middle in and drives it out. Then his next time up, that one probably middle of the plate.
2-2 pitch. Then a 2-1 pitch in the 6th. And he hit a low line drive that had to, Mike and I were just talking about 4 bills over the left center field fence. He's 1-0 here off the end of the bat. You can hear the fans. They want to see a 4 home run night. 18 times it's happened in regular season play. 4 home run games. Last year, the last guy to do it was J.D. Martinez with Arizona, and Scooter Gennett, Cincinnati, had done it earlier in the season. Mike's 2-1 here. Nick Ramirez, the pitcher. 2-1, 2 out, nobody on. He was thinking breaking ball.
He's not up there trying to hit a single, I can tell you that.
Not playing patty cake.
No.
Well, he's seen his fastball, seen his curve.
Pretty good changeup, too.
Tomorrow night, Nelson Cruz will return, coming off the quad injury. Robinson Cano returned tonight after the hammy injury, and so did Ichiro after a calf. They're buzzing the crowd here, 6,846. They know what they want. 3-2 pitch. High fly ball right field. Slicing out of play.
Take a look at it. Pretty good job protecting the plate. Another off-speed pitch. Probably just off the outside corner. Too close to take.
The 2 outs here, bottom 8. Aaron is 7-4 in front of Milwaukee. 3-2 pitch to Zunino. Hit it hard, base hit, a 4-for-4 night for Mike Z. Dialed in, just absolutely dialed in.
This gives you a great example. This is not an easy thing to change it. Now they come back with a fastball inside corner and an inside-out swing for a line drive into right center field. What a night. But that again goes all the way back to his approach and trusting his mechanics. A solid line drive on a pitch that's inside. Pretty good fastball at 92 miles an hour.
How about that head placement?
It's great. He has it dialed in. You mentioned it.
Gordon Beckham looking for a base hit, 0-for-3. Fly ball right field. And that'll do it for the Mariners. Last 3 outs. Top 9 coming up. Mariners 7.
We all made
home runs. Big night, big part of the 7-4 lead for the Mariners. Mariner fans, spring training is here and on MLB.tv. Watch select spring training games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply for regular season games, so visit MLB.tv for details. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew, glad to have you with us. Fun night, a lot of guests, including Ken Griffey Jr., Brian Holman, Ken Phelps, Ryan Healy, Jim Brower, John McLaren. Like the old Ed Sullivan Show, for crying out loud.
Tuffy Go Swish. Don't forget Tuffy.
Absolutely. And we got the Vinmeister here. Nick Vincent coming on. Face the bottom third of the order. He's got Tyrone Taylor. Nick Vincent, heavily depended on last year, 69 appearances. Backing up Heredia, plenty of room. Not the like with this outfield. Get Ben Gamble back, you got Ichiro out there on left. Haniger threw out a runner at third. You got D. Gordon. He made a throw the other night.
I saw it.
Over at Tempe. And I was on the radio call, and I said he airmailed it, but it got there in time, and he took the guy out because we were high above home plate.
Right.
And he got a heck of an arc on it. It didn't come close to the cutoff man, but it was so strong. It got there, and Margimo was able to put the tag on Justin Upton. It was a great throw. It turned out to be a great throw. I mean, out of his hand.
He's had a tremendous spring defensively across the board. Everything that he's done.
Good angles.
Yeah, just it's remarkable. Chris Prieto's worked a lot with him this spring, and it's paid off, and he's put the work in.
Well, he put a lot of work in after the trade, and the trade was made what, in January? So he had about 4 or 5 weeks. A couple of Hall of Famers were very helpful to him, Mr. Griffey and Mr. Barry Larkin. Spool was retired. And again, D. Gordon essentially grew up in a clubhouse. His father 21 years in the big leagues, Tom Gordon. Quick 2 outs.
Pinch hit for Milwaukee, number 13, Tyler Heineman.
Great counts and brought a decent amount of guys, and he's just about gotten everybody in.
I can't tell if you're excited about that or not, Dave.
I would go with B. I would go with B.
A lot of ink.
I always invest heavily in December in ink products. Ball to strike from Nick Vincent. 2 out, nobody on. Mariners 7-4 lead. Be back with you tomorrow on the air at 6:30. First pitch at 6:40. Rangers are in town. And Saturday, be back here again, 6:30 on air, 6:40 first pitch. Cubs will be here. And if you're planning on coming down, you better buy some tickets because the Cub fans travel as well as anybody. And Felix will be on the mound. 2-1. Watching Felix in his bullpen today, look good. Coming off a nice effort against some minor leaguers on Monday over at the San Diego complex. He is excited and determined to make that 10th start.
Well, good news is 3 innings pitched for him, 38 pitches, so they'll be able to stretch him out a little bit more to get him ready for the start of the season.
It'll be the same team that hit that liner as Zunino camps under, completing a great night for him and the Mariners. Game over. Mariners win 7-4. Good stuff.
Well, Mike Leake looked really good, was working fast, throwing a lot of strikes. Good news, 6 innings pitched, 89 pitches, 61 strikes, so he's ready to go for the season. And Mike Zunino's the story offensively, 4 for 4, including 3 home runs.
Mariners get win number 12 of the spring. Back tomorrow with you against the Texas Rangers. For Mike Flowers, I'm Dave Sims. So long, everybody, from Peoria, Arizona.